Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to Security Guard Command. Pardon my voice, I just woke up a little bit ago, got home late last night from work. I wanted to talk about a couple things that happened at work last night. One of those things is never underestimate an adversary that you're detaining at work. So last night we had a young woman who was on a psych hold, and she was trying to escape, trying to run. She was a danger to herself. And the nurse called me over. I was actually given the emergency room lobby guard a break, and the nurse called me over for assist. And this girl was trying to leave, and the nurse was blocking her way. So I took the place of the nurse. The other nurse was on the other side of the patient, and the physician showed up, and they were all trying to talk her into, verbally redirect her to go back to her room. And that was unsuccessful. I tried to verbally redirect. I tried to say, I tried to give her options. I said, we can do this two ways. We can do this peacefully. We can walk over on your own, or we can physically pick you up and move you. And you could tell that she was trying to process it and think in her head. And then something switched inside of her, and she decided to try to push past me. I was looking at her hands. I was just basically watching everything, all of her body language. Her hands went into fists. So at that moment, I knew that she was about to try to start fighting. She tried to push past me, so I immediately spun her around. I was able to gain control of both arms from behind her. I dropped to the ground so that she was now in a seated position with her legs out in front of her, and I was controlling her arms. She was trying to scratch me, so I had to maneuver myself to also get a hold of her wrists while I was holding her arms. So her arms are straight back behind her now. I'm holding them, and now I've got my arms around her arms, holding opposite side wrists in a control. And then went about 15 seconds like this. She was trying to thrash around. One of the male nurses that was present, grabbed her legs. My officer that was on break had just returned, so I instructed him to gain control of her right arm. I transitioned to the left arm. Got her into a hold where you have one hand right behind the shoulder, kind of under the armpit area, and the other one is holding the wrist. So you got a straight arm out like this, and you're basically holding like this. And then the other one's like this, so that you've got control. You can turn the person, what have you. She continued to try to thrash around. It's very difficult when somebody's twisting and thrashing around. And don't ever underestimate, no matter how small the person may be, their strength, especially when it involves a psych issue. Guys, the human body is far more powerful than we realize. Your own strength is more powerful than you realize. The only thing limiting your strength is your mind, okay? When you get adrenaline going, that kind of releases a lot of that strength. When you go into a fight or flight mode, your mind is no longer limiting your strength, okay? And part of that is a survival thing. If you were to be able to tap into your full strength, you're going to cause damage to your body, and muscles are going to get damaged. You can sustain injuries, and so part of that, the limit of the strength is to protect yourself in your daily activities. But in a fight or flight situation, injury is the least of your concerns. Your life is more valuable, so your body is going to basically release all that energy and all that power that you have, that you are capable of. In this case here, she had some strength. She was strong. She couldn't have weighed more than 125 pounds. But it took three of us just to hold her down, and then physician was present. She was still trying to talk to her, was not effective. Physician ordered some medications. The medications were administered. After the medications were administered, I instructed everyone, said, okay, we're gonna stand her up. So on my count, I went 1, 2, 3. We all stood up. The nurse let go of the legs, put her feet on the ground. Now, I want to talk about positioning. So when you've got somebody in a control hold, you've got your arm, your hand, like in my case, I was on the left side, so I have my right hand right behind her shoulder blade, like kind of under her armpit area, and I had her arm, and I'm holding like this. what you want to do is you want to stand off to the side. You do not want to be in the strike zone, which would be either directly behind, directly in front, or to the left and right. You want to be kind of at a 45-degree angle off to the side, other person on the other side. Reason for that is the easiest way to kick is straight behind. So I was in there. Now, when we were going back to the patient's room, this patient, and unfortunately, both of us had to go directly behind her because the area that we were walking through is extremely narrow. This hospital is crowded, and there is very little space to even walk in some places. And so we had to kind of squeeze in together. And as soon as we were in that position, both of us were directly behind her. She decided to take her left leg and start stomping and kicking backwards. And unfortunately, she made contact with my shin multiple times. I wasn't injured. I mean, it felt like I got a little bit of an abrasion or a scratch, but I think it was just, it was what it is. Didn't really get hurt. It hurt for a little bit, but it's fine. She was trying to scratch still, so we had to be mindful of that. And then we got her to her room. We placed her on her gurney, and she turned to me, and I knew exactly what she was about to do, and she launched saliva. She spit right in my face. I had my glasses on. As soon as I saw it, I turned my head to the side, so she basically got the whole side of my head. My glasses protected my face, protected my eyes. The nursing staff applied restraints and was able to do like a 4-point restraint to hold her down to the gurney while she was fighting. And it only took about 6 minutes for the medications to kick in. So at that point now she was starting to get real drowsy, and it was just kind of a, unfortunately, a typical day at the hospital with situations like this. You get these a lot. And I wanted to talk about the positioning though. You want to be off to the side. You never want to follow somebody directly behind them, to the side of them, or in front of them. You always stay behind and off to the side, and that's to avoid the strike zones. That's the strike zones where if somebody is directly behind you, the easiest place to kick is straight back, okay? So you don't want to be directly back. Also, when somebody goes to hit, usually it's straight back. You can swing, but as long as you're an arm's length away or you're controlling their arms, you're going to be out of that strike zone. But the strike zone for punching straight ahead, there's the sides. But when you're at a 45-degree angle offset to their center, you're going to be in a lot safer position. So if you are in the process of trying to detain somebody, keep that in mind. Stay out of their strike zone, just to keep yourself safe. As always, guys, have a great day, and I'll catch you later.